Alright YouTube, so we are back with some FF7 Remake content. I'm not even really sure how to start this video or even what I'm going to title it. So yesterday, or last night rather, I'd seen Soldier First Class's video pop up in my newsfeed because I am subscribed to the guy. And it's about the Avalanche members being like confirmed as guest party members for the game. And I thought that was pretty interesting, but I did not watch it until today. And then I watched it and it's not true. And just to be clear, before we hop into this, this is not a drama video. I'm not trying to call the guy out or whatever, or hating on the guy. The simple fact is, he's a popular channel within the community, and the information he released yesterday is not true, at least as of right now. So the whole video is pretty much based on this image right here, the bike chase scene, and in the bottom right corner, Wedge has a health bar. And also this tweet accompanying the images that says, Avalanche is an anti-Shinra group working to protect the planet. Biggs, Wedge, and Jessie will have your back in Final Fantasy VII Remake. And somehow that's supposed to be confirmation that Jessie, Biggs, and Wedge are guest party members in Final Fantasy VII Remake. Wedge has a health bar because it's a bike chase scene, similar to the original game, the highway scene, where you're on the bike. All that's happening in this image or this scene is that you have to protect Wedge from being damaged by the enemies on the motorcycle, very similar to the original game. I don't see how somebody could look at that image and think otherwise. As for the tweet saying Biggs, Wedge, and Jessie will have our back in Final Fantasy VII Remake, that's also not confirmation that they're going to be guest party members, because of course they have our back. They're members of Avalanche. Hell, we literally start Final Fantasy VII and Remake doing a mission with them, like they're helping us bomb these Maka reactors. Like, obviously they have our backs. Now, this all being said, I'm not saying that we're not going to have Jessie, Biggs, and Wedge as guest party members in Final Fantasy VII Remake. A lot of modern Final Fantasies have guest members. Even the original Final Fantasy VII, at one point in a flashback, you have Sephiroth on your team. So technically, even the original FF7 had a guest party member at one point in time, so it's a very real possibility in the remake as well. He makes a good point in his video about how it makes sense for them to be guest characters because we're lacking, half the roster. We don't have Sid, Vincent, Yuffie, or Kate Sith because we get them outside of the Midgar segment. So it makes sense to kind of fill that void with guest characters, being Jessie, Biggs, and Wedge. I can agree with that. I like the notion of them being guest characters. The issue stems from saying that it was confirmed, because it wasn't. He even says in his video that he doesn't know if they're going to be featured in combat or just relegated to the mini-games and bike missions. Well, if they're not featured in combat, then they're not guest party members. When you say it's confirmed that they are guest party members, you're putting it in everybody's mind that they're going to be fighting alongside us like the other characters, like Barrett and Tifa and Aerith. Which is simply not the case as of right now. With the information we have for this game, we have no idea if we're ever going to get a fight alongside Jessie, Biggs, and Wedge. All we have is an image where we got to protect Wedge during a bike chase scene, very, very similar, of course, to the highway scene from the original game. That's all we got right now. I mean, if you want to try to make the argument that the bike scenes in FF7 Remake are essentially combat, I suppose you could try that, but they're more like escort missions. And let's be completely honest, the bike scenes are essentially forced minigames. So again, I'm not against the idea of having them as guest party members. I like the idea and I think it makes sense, and it's a very real possibility. I know I'll probably get hate for making this video. Soldier First Class has a lot of fans, but the simple fact is it wasn't confirmed and you shouldn't say that. All we have is an image of what essentially boils down to a minigame. By the way, I pass off to you guys. What are your thoughts? Do you think Jessie, Biggs, and Wedge will be guest party members in Final Fantasy VII Remake? Do you think we'll ever actually get to fight alongside them before stuff happens? Leave your thoughts and more in the comment section below. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new and want to stay updated with more Final Fantasy VII Remake content. Turn on my notifications. Follow me on Twitter at @DashingDavid. And my Discord links on social networks are in the description and in the outro. Later, guys.
Give me a smile, give me forever for a while, give me forever for a while. Quit acting like a baby, or at least less like a child. Give me serenity.